All right, everyone, good evening. It is Sunday night, and I'm Dr. Melody Rodarte. I'm a physician in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am super excited to be doing the Sunday training and sharing with you all. So I'm actually really excited because I get the whole 30 minutes with you guys. And so I'm going to do a little bit of product, NRF2 we're going to talk about, and a little bit of business. And keep it short and narrow, but let me share my screen and we will get started. And I'll talk to you guys a little bit about my story as we're going to, because I think it's part of that business talk. So you'll see it in a little bit. So I love what the company is doing right now with Flip the Switch, Feel Better, Do More. Hopefully you guys in the past week to 2 weeks, you've noticed that we're trying to narrow things down and make it as simple as possible. And that's what I want to do this evening with you is I want to make NRF2 be simple, and you will get even more with Global next month. But when you think about the Tri-Synergizer, you want to just think of 3 words here. Energize, that's our mitochondria, NRF1, neutralize, our NRF2, and revitalize, NAD, our longevity genes. So we're trying to help you keep it as simple as possible. And so my job today is NRF2. So we want to flip the switch on antioxidants, okay? So some of you have been a part of the company for a few years. Some of you are brand new. And what I want to do in the first kind of 10 minutes is talk about it where you might hear me say something that you've heard before. You might hear me say something differently, or you might hear something for the very first time. And what I love about that is you get to create your own voice and how you talk to other people. And that's the tools that I want to give you tonight, okay? So you might have heard this, a flip phone versus an iPhone. So taking antioxidants versus making antioxidants is the new technology, okay? So old technology, flip phone. New technology, iPhone, or Droid for some of you guys. So, but there's a huge difference there. So it's not like you can't still use a flip phone. It's still, if you're stuck in a foreign country and they hand you a flip phone, it's still gonna work. Would you rather have your iPhone? Yes. And so up until NRF2 was found, all we knew was you had to take antioxidants. You could neutralize free radicals by taking an antioxidant. Well, now we know that it's better if we can activate our bodies to make antioxidants or release antioxidants. And you might have heard this saying as well. If you have a house fire, do you want to be handing out Dixie cups of water to go and put out the fire? Or would you rather turn on the sprinkler system inside the house, as well as have the fire department come and hook up hoses to a fire hydrant and blast water throughout, putting out the fire? So when people are trying to understand the difference between supplementation and activation, these are some of the examples that you can use. We've heard people talk about it's a trash removal system. You were picking up the trash that gets built up in our cells, and that's by neutralizing free radicals. And so NRF2, think neutralize. Another schematic here that we like, it's an antioxidant is able to neutralize a free radical by donating that electron. And so this process is happening every millisecond, every second that's going on in our body. We are having processes, chemical reactions happening. And so NRF2 is when you activate it, you're releasing your own antioxidants. You've heard glutathione, catalase, superoxide dismutase. Get familiar with some of those antioxidants that our body makes and understand that you are neutralizing free radicals. Why do we want to neutralize free radicals? Because we want to reduce oxidative stress. What is oxidative stress? What's happening? It is the leading cause. It's what is causing the aging process. So as we age, we have a decrease in endogenous, means made from within, endogenous. Exogenous would mean you're taking it in. Endogenous, you're making it. So there's a decrease in endogenous antioxidant production as we age. And there's a depletion of antioxidants. Those two things lead to an increase in ROS, which is reactive oxygen species. When that happens, you have an increase in free radicals and an increase in oxidative stress. So the best thing that you could say, let's make it simple. Oxidative stress is bad. It increases stress on the cell. Each cell makes up a tissue. Your tissue makes up an organ. Your organs make up your body. And depending on what genes you have, that expression can lead to any type of disease. And that's what we see on the right-hand side when we talk, when you've seen this slide, we talk to people. So if it affects the heart, it can be high blood pressure. If it affects the lungs, it can be COPD. It goes on and on and on, okay? And so on the left-hand side, you can talk about it with someone where what are things that increase our oxidative stress as we age. So it can be microwaves, it can be the food we eat, it can be using our cell phones. We kind of talked about cell phone use. All of these types of things, whether or not we are trying to reduce how much toxic environment we're in, they all will lead to that aging process and the cell breakdown. And what we're trying to do is reduce it, neutralize it. There's that word again. We want to neutralize it. That's why we want to care, because we don't want to have disease. We want to slow down the aging process. We want to optimize our health. We can do that through NRF2. And so for my science geeks, there's some of you on here. I love this one. This one is so much easier to explain than some of the other ones. I saw, you might have heard me talking to Dr. Sveta on here earlier. The ones that she gives us are like the entire screen full. And so this one's my favorite because it's short and there's a couple things that you can just memorize here. Gene expression. So we know that NRF2 helps gene expression. What do genes do? Make antioxidants. They help with regulating the cell. What else? They detoxify carcinogens, things that lead towards the cell not functioning properly. What else you see in there? Glutathione. We love glutathione lately. Beforehand, we loved it. We now love it more because we know what a potent antioxidant glutathione is and how it helps put out the fire that is happening inside of our cells. So all you need to know about is there are multiple ways that we can activate the NRF2 pathway in our cells, and the downstream effect is incredible. There are multiple pathways that help with our antioxidant production. What does that do? Neutralize, neutralize, neutralize. Are we seeing a theme kind of, you know, coming across here? So here's the wordiness that you can think about. NRF2 is a transcription factor that integrates cellular stress signals and responds by directing various transcriptional programs. So it's the master regulator of the antioxidant response. It's the thermostat. The more stress our cell is under, we want NRF2 to be activated to release more antioxidants. The more quiet a cell can be, like, you know, things are great, sleep is great, there's no stress, you're exercising, you're eating great, you don't have to have NRF2 turned on all the way. So think of it like a thermostat. Survival genes, you've heard me talk about it a few times now tonight. Our survival genes are ones that help antioxidant production. Antifibrotics, you might have heard that, and when you read through the patent, that's not allowing scarring or fibrosis, to happen. That's a part that can happen through inflammation. And what else is turned on? Our immune and inflammatory responses. These are healthy pathways that we need. A little bit of, let's say, irritation, our body needs. It needs to know what's going on. So if it sees a bacteria, if it sees a virus, if it sees something that's causing inflammation, you want those genes to say, hey, we got to go put out the fire. The problem is when it can't turn off, okay? So we want healthy immune response. We want a healthy inflammatory response. That is the key part of NRF2. And we want to see a decrease in neurodegenerative processes or neurodegeneration. NRF2 is huge, huge, huge for decreasing neurodegeneration. Though that's a fancy word for like dementia, Alzheimer's, those pathways that you see. Neuro is nerve, okay? And degeneration, we know what that means. Gene expression, we want the upregulation and downregulation of gene expression. NRF2 does that. Detoxification pathway. Our liver is incredible. It has phase 1, it has phase 2 detoxification pathways. Glutathione is huge in that. We need NRF2 to be functioning in order to have an excellent detoxification pathway. If you can't remember that word, you remember take out the trash. Same thing. Our bodies, our cells want to take out the trash. NRF2 does that. How does it do it? By neutralizing free radicals. And so the loss of NRF2 with age is reversible and therefore a target for therapeutic interventions. I use that to talk a lot to my colleagues because this is something that we're going to talk in a little bit about talking to medical professionals or the healthcare profession. A lot of them don't know about this therapeutic intervention yet. And so we can talk about NRF2 reversing the aging process. So you've seen this slide. How do you explain it to somebody? It's so simple. You can read exactly what is on the slide. Do you want to take antioxidants or do you want to make them? I'm going to say I still want you to eat a healthy diet. A lot of you know that I'm an obesity medicine specialist. So I want you eating your blueberries and eating your green leafy vegetables because we get great nutrients through them. So, but what do I also want you to do? I want you to take an NRF2 activator. I want you to take Protandim because I also want my body to release antioxidants. So it is a scientific breakthrough. We are reducing oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days and by up to 70% with continued use. This is incredible. This is incredible for you guys to explain. The power of that can be explained by just having them watch the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. They get to see what happens to John Quinones's blood. You don't have to prove anything. You can give them the paper as well that shows this. And what caught my attention is this, the PubMed. Previous to Protandim, would rarely, if absolutely I could count on my hand how many times I could type in something that was not an FDA approved medication and have it pop up on PubMed. So when I did this, I can't believe this month is going to be 6 years in this company. I got 15 peer-reviewed articles back then. Now there's over 26 peer-reviewed articles. So again, just show them this, that we have peer-reviewed published science. Do you have to know what each study says? No, you just need to show them how to get to it. There's 11 patents, so both international and the US. BSCG, for those of you who don't know that, that's Banned Substance Control Group. Elite athletes can take it. They're worried about doping. NSF, you guys, for a global convention, you're gonna get an incredible talk on our quality control. And so NSF is just a third party coming in and saying what's on the label is inside the bottle. There are other third party validators out there. And so we've got multiple seals of approval, important when we're looking for things that are quote unquote over the counter, okay? We have a couple videos that are out talking about quality control that are excellent. And then proven to extend lifespan. That's the NIA study. So I love that you can show the study to those who are science oriented, who want to know, or if someone's truly just looking for, you know, I want to slow down the aging process. This is a great slide to show them. You can talk to them about this and you can say, hey, there's a study that we didn't even do that showed that we extended lifespan. And so this is another slide I like to show people because a lot of people want to ask, you know, if I already take, you know, turmeric, if I already take green tea, why would I want to add Protandim to it? What's the difference here? The biggest difference is when you're taking it as Protandim, you're getting an 18-fold increase in the expression of the antioxidant gene. What was I talking about? Neutralizing free radicals. So we want to do it the best way possible at this time. That is through Protandim. This is another example where you've probably heard this, maybe you haven't, but when you bake a cake, I'm going to tell you right now, this timing right now, my daughter has found out she's had all kinds of allergies. Let me tell you, changing one ingredient, because she can't do wheat, trying a wheat flour in a recipe or, you know, an almond flour can ruin it. And you're thinking, why can't it work right? That's what's happening right here. The proprietary blend that made Protandim is greater than the sum of the parts put together. They hit it on the nail for this. And so that's why I'd rather take one pill than 5 and hope I get it right and I strike a home run. Again, this is a great article about NRF2. You heard me talk about it being the master regulator of detoxification and antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, cytoprotective mechanisms. Just those are really key words that you can just know about this. But again, you don't have to memorize any of that. You could just say neutralize free radicals. And so this is the Washington State paper that you can offer to someone if they want to read more. I love this. It goes into depth. It's a really easy, it's an easier read. I shouldn't say it's a really easy read, but it's a much easier read than some of the other articles. And then, so this slide or this article I'm going to kind of go about talking to a healthcare provider. This slide I usually take out straight out of the journal if I'm talking to someone, and I don't print out the 20 pages. I will just print out this page because it speaks volumes, okay? So what we're seeing here is the potential NRF2 activation. On the upper left, you're seeing a pulsatile fashion of Protandim. It's brilliant, okay? That's what you want. That is what our cells do, a pulsatile increase of NRF2 activation, releasing of antioxidants, okay? Bardoxolone is for I won't bore you. So it's a medication that is not approved yet. On the bottom, dimethylfuramate is for MS, it's Tecfidera, and on the bottom is sulforaphane. And what you'll notice right now is a lot of companies are adding sulforaphane to their supplements because they're trying to get NRF2 activation. Now, is sulforaphane bad? No, it's a great NRF2 activator. Does it do the same taking it alone or in other items like Protandim right now? No. So it's just what you're doing is you're providing information to someone, right? So you're seeing the fold increase in NRF2 activation when against some of these other products here. Sulforaphanes and broccoli. Should you eat your broccoli and your cruciferous vegetables? Yes. So again, this is going hand in hand. Healthy lifestyle, NRF2 activation, neutralizing free radicals. And I can't tell you how many times in the last 2 weeks someone has asked me for the paper on how glutathione increase. This is the paper that you can quote that how we increase glutathione. I threw this up there so you can take the picture. You can see where it's in free radical biology medicine, and you can share this when someone's asking about glutathione, how much, how do we increase glutathione by 300%, okay? So that's why I threw this up there. You don't have to understand it all. You could just have this for someone who is asking about it specifically. So let's get to the other favorite part now, because I think a lot of people, yes, I love talking science. I tried to make it super simple. I tried to go into a little bit more detail for some of you, but this is the neatest part because the company now has a flip the business switch, and you hopefully were watching this yesterday. Can't believe yesterday was Saturday. I almost said a couple of days ago. But the flip the switch, what we are able to do now, the new incentives are incredible. Lock arms with your team, challenge each other to go and share with multiple people, because what are you doing? You're sharing health, the gift of health. And that's what fits into my life perfectly, is talking about health, how to stay healthy, how to slow down the aging process. And so 6 years ago now, when I was blessed with being able to know about this company, I had never heard the word multi-level marketing. I had never heard of direct sales. I had no inclination of bringing on another business, but in a sense, I'm an entrepreneur in the fact of I'm always looking for things that I can incorporate for my patients. But specifically 6 years ago, I was looking for something that was going to be helping my family. My mom had survived breast cancer twice. My son had an autoimmune condition. And as some of you know, I'm a DO. I'm a doctor of osteopathic medicine. So I've always had a desire to incorporate Eastern and Western medicine. Well, I also did wound care and hyperbaric medicine when I first finished residency back in 2005 and 2006. So I understood antioxidants. All the things that I was doing to help my mom, help my son, were not fully working. And I was literally wanting something else that I could use. I knew I needed to reduce their oxidative stress. I knew that term. And so when Lorna wanted to talk to me about this, and she brought up, I heard that term, oxidative stress. I watched that ABC primetime investigative report, and I saw John Quinones's blood. What happened to it? I wasn't going to tell her how excited I was, but deep down inside, I was super excited because I couldn't get home to type in quick enough to type in Protandim. And when I saw it pop up on PubMed, it was game over. I was like, how do I get my hands on this? That's where you're looking for someone who is looking for something that is going to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's validated. I mean, I didn't need her to give me every paper possible. I didn't, I just needed to know it was real. I saw that ABC primetime, and then I could do that research. That was where I was at that time. I don't know where your prospect is all the time. You don't know, but what you do know is their heart, and you know your heart. So when you get to present this to them, that's where you're aiming for. You want to give them that opportunity to slow down that aging process. And so this picture I want to throw up there right now, because in my 6 years, this has made an incredible difference. This is my story, you guys. I, have my own practice now this year that I got to open, and I named it Activated Health and Wellness because of how important activating your body is. That picture in the middle with the getting to see the bridge, as well as the bottom with us being snowed on and being in Paris, that was us, and I wanted to hit Pro 6. And I throw this up there because a lot of people thought you can't go on vacation and rank advance. And in my mind, I'm like, you gave me a phone with an app, and I can talk to anyone in the world. And I have a mission, and that is what I'm going to do. And so this is a business that you can do anywhere, from anywhere in the world. And so those of you who think you shouldn't be talking to anybody who has a full-time job, I'm going to say talk to them. I'm so glad someone talked to me because they didn't know that I was looking, 1, to help my son, and then 2, wanting to retire my husband, and 3, wanting to open my own practice. And so this has been able to be that door. Not only that, but the top picture in the middle, my husband and I got to start a nonprofit organization. And why? Because the amount of growth that has come from being a part of this company is exponential. It has given me a platform to live my dream, okay? And on the bottom, you can see I got to take them down to Mexico. All together, we got to do the LifeVantage legacy. It's just incredible, you guys, the things that this company can help you do. So how do you talk to medical professionals? You want to be I can't even talk now. I'm so excited. Informative, be punctual. Time is of the essence. They don't have a lot of time, a lot of times. That sounds funny. Be precise, talk to your upline, practice the conversation. Do not belittle, do not argue, and have a posture. Do we have something incredible? Yes. Do you have to shove it down anybody's throat? No. This is a gift. There's going to be a time where they want to hear it. And it's okay if multiple times you're saying, can I give you a new article? Can I tell you about something else that just came out? Can I hand you this new, this new informative packet? So that's okay to do. Just always do it from a place of educating and being a gift. These are some of the resources that you can use. Those of you who are science-minded, use PubMed, okay? Those of you who are not, use Google Scholar. Google Scholar is a great way for you to do your own research. It takes out all the bloggers, and it gives you some really easy data to move through, okay? So those of you who are reaching out to a medical professional, use PubMed. And those who you are not, use Google Scholar, or do your homework on Google Scholar so that you know what to present. Again, talk to your upline, talk to your team. We're more than happy to help you out. And then we talked about this, 26 studies on Protandim. You could even just bring it up on your computer, type out that first part that has the 26 studies on there or more. You could also do this, type in NRF2. There's over 16,500 articles. Type in NRF2 and oxidative stress. type in disease X and oxidative stress or NRF2. So you don't want to be the answer, but you want to give them the information to get the answer, right? You can be that bridge. And then these are some of the concerns that people have brought up with medical professionals. They have no time. I'm going to tell you, they have time when it matters to them. 6 years ago, I needed to know what I could do to have as a plan B, plan C, as we were trying to figure out how to retire my husband and move forward. I was trying to figure out how to help my son and my mom. And then by that time, I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to protect myself? My mom had breast cancer. Like, what gene turned on for her to have it? How am I going to protect me? Right? So those were things that were going through. So no time is kind of something that I like to push aside, okay? Because we all have time when it matters. It might not be the right time for them, and that's when you can always come back. There'll be a time, and you just have to figure out, you come from the heart, why do you want to present to them? MLM, like I said, I had no clue what that meant. When I found out what it was, I went to sources like my financial aid advisor to discuss it with, because I had no clue how it worked. Just give them the information. It's publicly traded on NASDAQ. It's on the, it's been mentioned in the Russell 3000. We're a debt-free company right now. Types of studies. I noticed that I want to make sure I get done with you all. When someone talks about this, I like to bring up that studies always start in a lab. They start with mice. Mice are expendable. I'm going to be straightforward with you. It's not like a human. You can't just do every study on a human. So when someone says there needs to be more human studies, I'm going to say, yes, I would love to see that. But it's really difficult to get human studies. It takes years to do. And so do we have human studies? Yes. Do we have, you'll hear the term in vitro or in vivo, meaning is it in a petri dish? Is it done in a part of a cell, or is it done in a whole body? We're going to have, what the beautiful part is, and I stand strong with this, is we have different types of studies, okay? And so we have them. That's like, period. We have studies, period. Do we want more studies? Yes. But when someone goes, oh, there's not enough human studies, I'm going to tell you honestly, I just say next, because they're just looking for something and they're not ready to hear any more information. Because someone who hears you have studies on PubMed, they're going to be like excited, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have something to look at. Again, patents. And why don't we have FDA approval? Because then it has to be labeled as a medication, you guys. It will be taken away from us. And then we have to be disease specific, and a study has to be done, and then it has to be approved for it. So LifeVantage, we are not going the FDA approval route. As far as to my knowledge, we are not going to ever be going down that road because of what I just said. Then you have to label it to a specific disease, and we're not going to do that. This is for everyone, because every cell has NRF2 capabilities. And so it doesn't matter if you have high blood pressure, or you have dementia, or you're 10 years old, or you're 80 years old. All of us have oxidative stress. So all of us could use NRF2 activation. All of us could use Protandim. And so these are things that you can bring. This is when you could actually walk into a doctor's office or something else. I kind of threw these up there, but you might have to send it through email now if you're doing telemedicine visits. But I like this one. You saw a couple of the slides with the papers. I don't bring the whole, it's going to get stuck in a file. But if you can bring a graph, if you can bring simple things, those can be easily looked at. That's what drug reps do nowadays. And then they don't bring you the entire packet of information until you're like ready to have a full-on conversation. But they want to pique your interest. So if you can pique a medical person's interest, these are some of the things that you can do. If you're seeing them first, let's say you have MS and you want to use this, you could bring a specific study with that. You could bring the product information list. Be prepared in that manner, okay? Always be prepared. And so that's why I threw this up there for you. So that is the presentation tonight. I kept it, yes, it's exactly 7 o'clock Pacific time. I hope you took something out of this. You guys run like the wind. Global is coming. I am so excited for this incentive because I'm like all of you guys. Who doesn't want to get into a pool to get bigger, you know, to get incentives for what? Helping others' health, right? How easy. That's my passion. Helping people stay out of the doctor's office and stay healthy. And the company is going to, you know, promote this and help me and reward me. Kind of, I'd like to say the word reward me for just kind of doing my passion. Why not? And then lock arms with your team and go do it together. I mean, because who doesn't want to party with each other, right? Who knows when we can do real incentive trips next, but those have been the best. And so am I as passionate about the product as I am the business? Heck yes. Go out, bless the world, enjoy. So good night, everyone.
Thank